seems to be exactly what happened.
I'm a mere bean counter, but it'd be hard to persuade me that you had to incur that kind of expense in order to accomplish some business objective. You don't have to stay in the best hotel in Milan. You don't have to stay in the Lanesborough Hotel in London. You might feel obliged to give the doorman some kind of tip, but it doesn't have to be the biggest tip that he got that day.
And according to Roddy Allen, the exorbitant use of cash may be another unusual business practice of the Hinn ministry. The documents include dozens of petty cash chits, but there's nothing petty about many of them. A chit for $5,200 cash to one of Pastor Benny's assistants. No details why. A check for $25,000 in cash to accompany Benny Hinn on a trip to Anaheim, just 30 miles from his house. No mention of what it was for. And there's cash doled out to the Hinn family. In just over 1 month in 2003, several payments totaling $23,000 to Pastor Benny and his wife. Again, no details as to what it was for. There was an explanation on this chit. Just days before he tipped a hotel clerk $1,000, Pastor Benny gave $20 to a homeless woman with a baby, also apparently deducted as ministry business. It is possible that Benny Hinn can explain all those lavish travel expenses and all that cash. But if so, he's not doing it to us, nor to all the people who gave all that money to him. Pastor Benny, sir. Bob McEwen. We met at Crusade in Buffalo, and I didn't have a chance to talk to you.
How are you again?
Very well. When the Hinn ministry repeatedly refused our interview request, we took a hidden camera to Pastor Benny's Toronto hotel.
If you get your money, all this money, from people like the ones we saw at this crusade and the one last week in Calgary, why will you not, as many people like Pat Robertson and Billy Graham do, release that information to prove that what you say is true?
Release the information that the ministry about the ministry.
The financial information, yours personally and the ministry's.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you invite me to come to CBC?
We would love to.
I'll be more than happy to come. You have my word for it.
Come tonight, come tomorrow.
I can't.
We can meet you.
But after weeks of being told Benny Hinn didn't want to talk to us, we weren't about to let him get away. We asked him for proof of those miracles.
What we would like is medical proof that there was a condition, that condition dramatically changed, and that change continued. And we want access to the patient and to the doctor. I think anybody would agree that would be
not a problem. Look,
the basis for medical verification.
I've done interviews with HBO. I've done interviews with CNN. I have no problem doing it with CBC.
I have not seen any medical evidence in any of those interviews you've given that would support the existence of even a single miracle.
Well, that's one thing I believe and one thing you don't.
Well, no, but I know you believe it. But you also say you only put on television miracles, miracle healings, which have been medically verified and proven.
You know, Bob,
so all we want to do is see the basis on which you say that.
We have done all that we can do as a ministry to open a department, to have people check.
You remember the little boy named William in Las Vegas a couple of years ago? You made him a star. You were going to set up a trust fund for him. You were going to put him through university. He was supposedly cured of blindness. He's not cured of blindness. And his family says that they had a heck of a time even getting in touch with the ministry, let alone was there no follow-up about him.
When he comes up on a platform, I'm only able to know what happens before they tell me so.
But isn't that the point, that they don't know, and neither do you? If I may say so, sir, you make a great deal of money on the basis of what you say.
Well, let's talk on camera. I'll answer your question. There's no problem with that.
Well, actually, we've been on camera, sir. You should know that.
Right,
so we would love to see. If you have more to say, we would love to sit down with you.
I'm sorry you had me on camera when I'm so tired.
Well,
soon afterwards, Benny Hinn and his entourage bid us good night.
Thank you. I'll call you.
We spoke to the woman.
As for that promise to call, he didn't.
Who says you?
Back in Alberta, Jordy Gibson did attend Hinn's Calgary Crusade last summer as an usher. When we visited 2 months later, he was still waiting for his miracle, still resisting his doctor's advice to get a new kidney.
If I were to walk off the stage and just drop my crutches and be completely whole. That would be a pretty incredible miracle.
And back home in the U.S., Justin Peters is still preaching the Word of God and coping with his cerebral palsy. They are both true believers with very different views about Benny Hinn.
I've often wondered if Benny Hinn knows he's a fake or if he's just so self-deluded. I'm not sure. I think initially in his ministry, I think he may have begun with honorable intentions, but he has become intoxicated by the money. He's become intoxicated by the power.
Benny Hinn has just yielded his life to Christ, to following Christ. And God has blessed him. He's given him gifts, grace, and to bring his message of healing.
In the end, what you think about all this may come down not to what you believe, but who. The last word goes to Pastor Benny.
Look in my eyes right here. Come, give me a close shot, will you? And look at these eyes. I have never lied to you. Never. I never will. I'd rather die than lie to God's people.